So I actually took your self-assessment, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, which was very easy. I went on your website, and it was a simple quiz, and I printed out my results, and I have a feeling this may turn into a therapy session. If that's okay, let's just see where this goes. So I came up with what's called a supplier saboteur.
Correct. Saboteur is a person who sabotages themselves. That's why I came up with saboteur.
Got it. So, and based on what I read here, that I am somebody who at times can be taken advantage of, right? That it's difficult for me to say no. And I place more value in others, helping others than myself. So I mean, it was interesting. I did highlight one line here. It's less painful to squash my desires than others.
Because you focus on everybody else. You
Right.
really don't want to, if I may.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, sometimes people feel uncomfortable. And one of the things you got to realize is that everybody has a sabotaging trait, right? Everybody has this. And if I may just go off just one offset here, is that what I discovered is that when you're in that using your sabotaging trait, you're actually ready to evolve, but you're uncomfortable to evolve and grow. So you go into that protection state. And as soon as you use the antidote, it allows you to switch from protection to growth that quick, instantly. So when you go into a stressful situation, or whether or not you're not handling it well, again, I'm not talking about the 85% of your life that's going great, or your business, right? Remember, everybody has to realize that your personal and your business are one. They're not separate, right? People think they are, they aren't. And when you use your sabotaging trait, you affect both at the same time. And then when you use your antidote, both are affected at the same time as well, right? How many times have you worked on your business, you did something, your personal life shifted, or you did something with your personal life and your business shifted? That's how it works. So with yourself, you focus on other people because you rather give than take. You don't like selfish people. But what happens is that you confuse selfishness to self-nourishment. Right? That you actually have to replenish you, and that your brain's going, no, that's not, I got to get to everybody else, because if I actually replenish me, then I got to deal with my own feelings, which you really don't like to do. You don't really go with your gut, but when you do go with your gut, a lot of times it works out.
That is true. I would have to say that is pretty accurate.
Right. So people, when you had to overly give to other people, then you felt better, but it was because of insecurity within yourself. But when you use the antidote to shift that, then you are able to balance that out more effectively. Because you can go to the other extreme, right? You can go to the extreme where someone is taking advantage of you enough, you're like, I'm done. All right, forget it. I get the heck out of my life, whatever the case may be. And then you feel guilty, and you go back and you go give it again.
That's
correct?
So true. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can go back and forth. The antidote allows you to go into the middle. So I always tell people, I always talk in ones and tens, because I don't know whether or not you're a 2 or a 7 or 8. As long as, if you're out between a 4.5 to a 5.5, anything outside of that, you're not as balanced as you need to be. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
So that's why, by you understanding that, the reason why things are not working out is because two things: I devalued myself, and I allowed others to devalue me.
I'm a big believer in servant leadership, right? So over the years, I've always prided myself on approaching my people and my teams with the lens of seeing it through, I am here for them, right? That's my responsibility as a leader. I do get my source of energy from them. But what this is suggesting that I may take that too far at times?
Definitely. You don't give boundaries. I tell people, suppliers love with boundaries. You can you become overly patient with people, so therefore they reject you, right? But then you get to the point where, you get intolerant, and then you reject them, and that your brain just freaks out back and forth. So you're constantly in this protection, so you don't grow, you don't evolve, right? So what happens in that moment is that be patient, but with boundaries. So for instance, a person at Friday, you say, okay, they're going to get this. Let's say your producer says, okay, I'm going to get this by Friday, and they don't. And you're like, oh, all right, well, I can do it Monday. Okay, Friday, Monday. And all of a sudden Monday comes along, and he or she doesn't get it done again. Like, well, Friday. See what happens is, so you're becoming overly patient. Now, if they hit by Friday, you would go, okay, great, but I need it by Monday. But if Monday comes along and they don't, you got to give them a consequence. Because if not, subconsciously, you're telling them it's okay, that I'm not important enough. This is not as important. Until it gets to a point where you're like, now you're resentful, and now you go after them. Well, you're resentful not to them, you're resentful to yourself that you didn't do it earlier.